when I got to Uruguay, first I arrived separate from my group, so it was just me arriving there, and the the elders there for my mission picked me up, and then they took me to this little una panaderia where they had bizcochos. They had these little sweet bread with different fillings, and so that was our breakfast, and I was really happy with that. I love baked goods, so I was really happy to know that they have these little bakeries everywhere. And then I remember uh, they they had me get to know my trainer, and then sent us off in a bus out to our area. It was about 5 or 6 hours away, so all of the transportation there is through the buses. And I remember when we got to our area in Salto, my first area, we took a taxi back to the house, and I remember my trainer was talking with the taxi driver. And for whatever reason, I remember listening to talk to him, and I was thinking, there's no way he understands everything this guy's saying. Because I knew some Spanish. I thought I knew more than I did, and I couldn't catch everything that was going on. For some reason, I thought that my trainer wouldn't either. But actually, yeah, obviously, he had extremely good Spanish. And so I remember that, realizing how little Spanish I actually understood, because I thought I knew more. I'd taken classes all throughout junior high and high school, and a semester at college. And I thought I always did well on the Spanish test, thought I did it, knew everything fine. And I knew the grammar really well, and I knew how to write and form words and sentences. And grammatically, I could do really well. But when it actually came to speaking and especially understanding, I struggled a lot in that. And so that was a big difference for me. And it is pretty hard at the start when you can't speak the language very well, and you want to tell someone something. You get to the mission, you're all fired up, ready to go out and preach the gospel, and it's hard because you can't communicate very well with the people. And so that was definitely one of the biggest trials going to the mission, was that language barrier. But eventually you do learn it, and it's fine. And then it's the best, being able to speak with the people. And it's really something that you spend the rest of your mission trying to improve, the way you speak, your accent as you speak, and correcting all your errors. And another thing about coming to the mission, just starting the mission, was just how it was a lot of physical work. I was in good shape too before the mission. I did a lot of running, and so I thought physically I'd be totally fine. And at school, I spent a lot of time studying. I was always working, so I thought that my work ethic and my physical ability, I would be totally fine on the mission. But it is still really draining. It's a lot to be walking and teaching people all day. It really takes a lot out of you, but it is very rewarding at the same time. And so there's always that image of missionaries walking really fast, and that is something you really have to learn how to do as a missionary. And I'm pretty sure my trainer, he was a great missionary, and he always tried to do the best he could. And I think part of that image for him of being the best missionary was proportional to how fast you walk. So the faster you walk, the better missionary you were. And so I was like jogging most of the time to keep up with him, because he walks super fast. And yeah, it was quite the workout each day. Something that was very different about in Uruguay is they have the siesta, and that's about anywhere from 2 to 4 hours in the afternoon. Depending on where you're at, if you're in the capital, you don't have it as much, but on the rural areas, you get it where when the siesta hour comes after lunch, around 1 to 5, the whole city just shuts off. Businesses close down. No one really is outside, and everyone's just in their home asleep after eating a big lunch. And So that was very different for me. When before 2 and 3 o'clock were very productive times of the day to, eat lunch and then you go out and keep working. But in Uruguay, everything just shuts off, and so that was very different also.